Imagine you're crawling. Not walking. Crawling. On your belly. Through a crack in the rock barely wide enough for your shoulders. One hand cupped around a flickering stone lamp that burns animal fat and smells like something dying. The passage twists. It drops. You've been squeezing through the dark for the length of 3 football fields, deeper than any water, any food, any reason a living thing should ever go. And then the walls open up. You lift the flame. And there, breathing in the orange light, is a herd of horses. Bulls. A lioness mid-stride. Painted so perfectly they seem to move. Somebody came all the way down here, in total blackness, to make them. And nobody knows exactly why. So let me ask you the question that's haunted archaeologists for a century. Why would our ancestors paint their most beautiful art in a place almost no one could ever see it? Here's the strange part. That urge to go somewhere hidden and make something that matters, just because it matters, that's still inside you. It's in the notebook you don't show anyone. It's in the song you only sing in the car. 30,000 years ago, a human being decided that some things are worth making even if no crowd ever claps. And the deeper you go into this story, the more you'll realize these weren't grunting brutes with clubs. They had imagination that rivals yours. They had a relationship with darkness we've almost completely lost. And there's one detail about what these caves might actually have been for that flips the whole primitive caveman picture on its head. But I'll get there. Stay with me, because it's stranger than a hiding place. Start with the effort, because the effort is the first clue. These paintings aren't near the cave mouths where people actually lived. The living happened in the daylight, at the entrance. The art is buried in the deep zones, chambers you reach only by crawling through passages that flood, that pinch shut, that go pitch black the second your lamp dies. In some French and Spanish caves, the painted galleries sit over a kilometer from the entrance. People carried fire, pigment, and scaffolding into places one wrong turn from death. You don't do that by accident. You do it because getting there is the point. And you know this feeling. The pilgrimage that means more because it was hard. The trip you'll never forget precisely because it nearly broke you to get there. Now look at what they painted, because it's not what you'd expect. You'd think early humans would paint themselves, their families, their hunts, their faces. They almost never did. The walls are overwhelmingly animals. Horses, bison, aurochs, mammoths, rhinos, lions. And here's the twist that unsettles researchers. They mostly didn't paint the animals they ate. At many sites, the bones in the trash heaps are reindeer. The paintings are horses and dangerous beasts. So this isn't a menu. It isn't a hunting how-to. These animals meant something beyond food, something closer to power or spirit or story. They were painting their gods, maybe, or their nightmares. And you still sort your world this way. The creatures that fascinate you aren't the chicken on your plate. They're the wolf, the shark, the lion on the flag. The dangerous ones. The sacred ones. Then there's the craft, and this is where Caveman really falls apart. These artists used perspective. They shaded. In Chauvet Cave in France, more than 30,000 years old, someone drew a pride of lions with the far animals slightly smaller, fading into the herd. Depth, on a rock wall, before farming, before writing, before the wheel. They scraped the walls smooth first, like priming a canvas. They used the natural bulges of the stone so a bison's shoulders swelled out at you in 3 dimensions. Some figures have extra legs, and the best guess we have is that by firelight, those legs flickered, the animal appeared to gallop. This might be the oldest animation on Earth. And that instinct to make the still thing move, to trick the eye into life. You feel it every time a flipbook or a screen fools you into seeing motion that was never there. But the strangest part, the thing that might explain why they went so deep, that's still ahead. Because it's not really about the pictures. Listen to the caves. Researchers walked through painted caverns making sounds, mapping where the echo was richest. And the paintings cluster in the most acoustically alive spots. The chambers where a clap booms, where a hum swells, where a voice thrown at the wall comes rolling back like a herd stampeding in the dark. The flat, silent galleries stayed mostly bare. So these weren't quiet art museums. The best guess we have is that people gathered in these belly-of-the-earth rooms to make sound, to chant, to drum, to sing, with the animals glowing around them in the firelight, and the whole cave answering back. It was immersive. It was total. And you chase the exact same thing when you stand in a dark concert, and feel the bass in your ribs and the crowd roar around you. You're looking for the cave. You just call it a show? Now the hands. In cave after cave, across the whole world, you find the same haunting mark, a human hand, pressed to the wall, outlined in a halo of blown pigment. Someone put their palm on cold stone, took a mouthful of red ochre, and sprayed it so the rock kept the shape of where they'd been. 30, 40,000 years later, you can lay your hand over theirs. Many are small, women, children. Some are missing fingers. And it hits you that this is the oldest sentence humans ever wrote. And it says only, I was here. I existed. That's the same reason you carve initials in a tree, tag a wall, write your name in wet cement. The oldest art and the newest graffiti are the exact same prayer. Here's a detail that breaks people a little. In several caves, the paintings sit on top of older paintings, layered over centuries, sometimes thousands of years apart. Different generations, returning to the same spot in total darkness, adding to the same wall. They knew the images were there. They came back to them. This was a place with meaning that outlived any single person, passed down and guarded across more time than separates you from ancient Rome. You keep sacred spots too. The grave you still visit. The childhood home you drive past slowly. The instinct to make a place holy by returning to it. That started in the dark. And who was down there matters. Footprints preserved in cave clay show that children went in too, some barely old enough to walk that far. Picture it. A family, threading a 5-year-old through a flooded tunnel by lamplight to stand before the horses. This wasn't just artists at work. The best guess we have is that this was ceremony. Maybe how you became an adult, how you met your ancestors, how the tribe told a child who they were. The most important night of your life, staged in the most terrifying place they knew. And you still do this. You still take the people you love somewhere overwhelming to mark that something has changed. So here's what I keep coming back to. The same creature that crawled a kilometer into the earth to paint a horse it would never eat, to press its hand to the wall and whisper I was here, to gather in the dark and sing until the stone sang back. That creature is you. Same hands. Same hunger to make something beautiful in the places no one's watching. Same need to leave a mark that outlives you. We didn't grow out of those people. We're still them, holding a brighter lamp. So tell me down in the comments, what's the thing you make or do that no one really sees? Your version of the painting in the deep cave? I read every one. And tonight, before you sleep, when the lights go out and it's just you in the dark, sit in it for 1 minute instead of reaching for your phone. That black quiet is the oldest room our species ever knew. Go meet the people who painted it.